Hello class 8 students, welcome everyone. So from today onwards we are going to start our online classes, right? And in the offline classes we were already discussing this chapter, that is microorganisms, friend and foe. So in this chapter we have studied about microorganisms. What are microorganisms? Where do microorganisms live? Right? The classification of microorganisms we have studied, that is microorganisms can be divided into bacteria, fungi, viruses, protozoa, right? Then we have studied about the friendly microorganisms, how microorganisms can be useful to us. Yes, making of curd and bread, okay? Then commercial use of microorganisms we have studied, medicinal use of microorganisms we have studied. We have studied about vaccine also, right? We have studied about increasing the fertility of the soil also, right? And lastly we have studied about the cleaning of the environment. So this all comes under the friendliness of microorganisms. That means the usefulness of microorganisms, how microorganisms are useful to us. But how microorganisms can be helpful to us, harmful to us, this comes under foe of the microorganisms section. Microorganisms can be a friend also and a foe also to us, right? So how microorganisms can be a friend, we have studied all of this thing in the offline classes, right? But how microorganisms can be harmful to us, that is how microorganisms can act as a foe, we'll start from today in this video. Clear? So harmful microorganisms, first of all, you know that microorganisms can be harmful in many ways, right? For example, say some microorganisms can cause diseases in human beings, plants and animals. Okay, microorganisms can cause diseases in human beings, plants and animals. So such disease causing microorganisms are called as pathogens. The disease causing microorganisms are called as what? Pathogens. Okay, such disease causing microorganisms are called pathogens. Okay, so some microorganisms can spoil the food, clothing and even leather. Okay, and these pathogens are what? Disease causing microorganisms. Pathogens can be a bacteria, it can be a virus, it can be a protozoa, it can be a fungi, etc., etc. Okay, many diseases are there. Many diseases like say tuberculosis, okay, then say cough, cholera, typhoid, AIDS, okay, food poisoning. Even food poisoning is also caused by microorganisms. Malaria, okay, smallpox, chickenpox. So these all comes under the diseases of microorganisms. Disease of microorganisms. Okay. So the first section is about the disease causing microorganisms in humans. Right. So these pathogens, or say the disease causing microorganisms, they enter our body. Okay. They enter our body through what? Through the air we breathe. Right. Disease causing microorganisms or pathogens enter our body through the air we breathe. Then it can also enter our body through the water we drink. It can also enter our body through the food we eat. Okay. So the disease causing microorganisms can be transmitted. It can also be transmitted by the direct contact with an infected person, or it can be carried through an insect or other animal. Okay. So pathogens enter our body through the air we breathe, the water we drink, or the food we eat. And these pathogens or the disease causing microorganisms can also get transmitted by direct contact with an infected person, or it can be carried by an animal, or say an insect. Clear till here? Okay. So when pathogens such as viruses, bacteria, protozoa, fungi, when they enter our body, then they cause diseases. Clear? And you should remember that these diseases, the disease caused by the microorganisms, or we can also say that microbial diseases that can be spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or by physical contact are called what? Communicable diseases. Clear? What are communicable diseases? Those microbial diseases which can spread from an infected person to a healthy person through air, water, food, or by any other physical contact. Such diseases are called what? Communicable diseases. Okay, as we have discussed this thing right in the class, that diseases are classified as communicable diseases and in non-communicable diseases, and non-communicable diseases are due to some internal factors in us, but communicable diseases are due to the disease causing microorganisms when they get inside or enter in our body. Okay, so when a person is suffering from common cold, okay, when a person is suffering from common cold, okay, then obviously then the person will sneeze. Yes or no? When the person suffering from common cold, they will sneeze. So the fine droplets of the moisture carrying thousands of common cold viruses are spread in the air around him or her. Right? When a person suffering from common cold, they will sneeze. Then after sneezing, what happens? The droplets of moisture, they will carry thousands of viruses, and those viruses will be spread in the air. Clear? Then those viruses may enter the body of a healthy person. Okay, and if the viruses will enter the body of a healthy person while breathing, then they will cause infection to the healthy person. Okay, so in this way the viruses has been transmitted from an infected person to a healthy person through air only. Clear? So when a healthy person breathes in this say a contaminated air which contains the common cold virus, the virus enters his body, and he also will get common cold disease. Okay, clear? Now we'll study about the carriers of disease causing microorganisms. You know about insects. So there are some insects in our environment which will transfer the disease causing microorganisms into our body, either say by contaminating with our food or by biting into our body, and they will spread the diseases. So two most common insects which carry this disease causing microorganisms or pathogens or microbes, these are what? Housefly and mosquito. Housefly and mosquito are the carriers. Okay, so what are carriers? Carriers are the insects. Okay, insects or say animals which transmits the disease causing microorganisms to humans without itself suffering from them. Okay, so there are some insects and animals which act as what? Carriers of disease causing microbes, and housefly is one such a carrier. Okay, they will transmit the disease causing microorganisms to humans, and the insects will not suffer from this. Okay, that means the disease causing microbes, the disease or the microorganisms will be carried only by the insects. Okay, and if they will bite us or if they will contaminate our food, then we'll get infected from that. Okay, the microorganisms will not affect the housefly or neither the mosquito. They will affect only us. Microorganisms will affect only us. Housefly and mosquito are only the carriers. They will carry the disease. They will carry the microorganisms with them. Okay, and they will contaminate us. Clear? Now you know that houseflies lay eggs on the garbage dumps. Okay, housefly lay eggs on the garbages, or say garbage dumps. Garbage dumps. Okay, housefly lay eggs on the garbage dumps. So you can refer this to that houseflies breed. They will breed on, or they will feed in filthy places or in sanitary places. Okay, they will breed and feed in filthy places, filthy or insanitary places. Insanitary places. Okay, and this insanitary places contain a lot of disease causing microorganisms, or we can say pathogens. Okay, are you getting it? Housefly breeds and feed in insanitary places or filthy places which contain a lot of disease causing microorganisms or pathogens. Okay. Now when the housefly sits on a garbage, or say a human excreta or animal excreta or any other filthy and say garbages or refuse things, then the millions and millions of disease causing microorganisms like bacteria which are present in the garbages and all stick to the body parts of the housefly. Okay, and when this housefly sits on the food of ours, when the housefly will now sits on our food, then the microorganisms present in these garbages stick to the body parts of the housefly. And when the housefly sits on our food, then the microorganisms which are sticking to their body parts will be transferred to the food. Okay, so in this way our food gets contaminated with the disease causing microorganisms, and when this contaminated food is consumed by a person, then the disease causing microorganisms enter into his body and they will cause various diseases, so the person will get sick. Okay, clear? So thus the housefly act as a carriers of the disease causing microorganisms or germs. Clear? And this is the habit, actually this is the habit of the housefly of sitting on garbage and human food alternately, which is responsible for the transmission of the microorganisms to our body, and this causes diseases. So there are some dangerous diseases which are spread by houseflies are like say cholera. Yes, cholera is a disease which is caused by this say carriers, that is housefly only. TB, that is tuberculosis. Okay, tuberculosis and diarrhea. Okay, so these are some of the dangerous diseases caused by the microorganisms, and who will carry these diseases or these microorganisms? Actually it is a housefly. Clear? It is carried by the housefly. Okay, so what is written in your book? Let's see that there are some insects and animals which act as carriers of disease causing microbes. Housefly is one such carrier, and this housefly sits on the garbage and animal excreta. Okay, basically they breed on these garbages. Okay, they breed on the filthy places. So pathogens stick, or say microorganisms stick to their bodies. Microorganisms or say pathogens stick to their bodies. Whose bodies? Houseflies' bodies. Okay, so when these houseflies sit on uncovered food, they may transfer the pathogens. Clear? And whoever eats the contaminated food is likely to get sick, because the microorganisms will get entered to the body of the human being who has eaten or consumed the food. Clear? So it is advisable to always keep our food covered, right? Avoid consuming uncovered items of food. Always we need to cover our food. Clear? Okay. Next is your mosquito. Mosquito is another insect which spreads diseases by transmitting the disease causing microorganisms or transmitting the pathogens. Okay, mosquito acts as a carrier of disease causing microorganisms and they spread the diseases from one person to another. Okay, in the same way, mosquito also breed in dirty things or filthy places, like say they breed in actually water of ponds. Okay, water of ponds. Okay, they breed in say dirty drains. Okay, then say ditches. Okay, they breed in ditches also. So one of the most common disease which is spread by mosquitoes is malaria. Okay, malaria. What is it? Malaria. And actually malaria is carried, okay, actually it is the female anopheles or anopheles, yes, it is a what? Anopheles, female anopheles mosquito. Okay, female anopheles mosquito carries the parasite of malaria. Okay, the malarial parasite, which is also called as plasmodium. The malarial parasite, which is also called as plasmodium, actually causes malaria diseases. And this is called a parasite because it lives on the blood of a person as its food on entering its body. Okay, so this malaria is carried by what? Anopheles mosquito, female anopheles mosquito, not male, female. Okay, female anopheles mosquito. Okay, so yes, and this female anopheles mosquito carries the parasite of malaria, that is plasmodium. Okay, it carries the parasite of malaria. What is it? Plasmodium. Okay, also dengue. Another disease is your dengue, which is spread by mosquitoes, is what? Dengue. And this dengue is caused by a virus, dengue virus. Okay, it is what? Dengue virus. And who carries this dengue virus? Aedes mosquito. Again, female Aedes mosquito. Female Aedes mosquito acts as a carrier of dengue virus. Clear? So there is a figure given in your book in page number 23, female anopheles mosquito. The picture of female anopheles mosquito is given over here, as you can see. This one. Okay. So all mosquito breed in water, and hence one should not let water collect anywhere, in coolers, tires, flower pot, etc. Even if you are collecting it, do not consume it. Okay, do not consume the dirty water. Okay, we have to prevent the water from mosquitoes from breeding. Clear? By keeping the surroundings clean and dry, we can prevent the mosquitoes from breeding. Okay, and that is how we can avoid the spread of malaria. You can also list some of the measures by which you can avoid the spread of malaria. Okay. Next, in table 2.1, there are some common human diseases which are caused by the microorganisms. Okay, the names of some diseases are given, then the causative microorganisms are given to you, and mode of transmission, right, through air, water, food, etc., through mosquito also. And some of the general measures are given by which you can prevent yourself from spreading this diseases. Okay, so here we go. That is tuberculosis. What is the causative microorganism of tuberculosis? Bacteria. And by which mode it gets transmitted? Through air. Okay. Then measles is caused by virus. Mode of transmission again air. Chickenpox is also caused by a virus. Mode of transmission is through air or by physical contact. Okay. Polio is caused by a virus. Mode of transmission is air and water. Now there are some preventive measures or general measures which is common for tuberculosis, measles, chickenpox and polio are, you have to keep the patient, or we should, if we are spreading from one of these diseases, then we have to keep ourselves in complete isolation. Okay, keep the patient in complete isolation. Clear? Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of the others. Okay, we have to keep our, if we are infected from any of these diseases, then we have to keep our belongings, any materials are there, and we have to keep ourselves in safe isolation, in complete isolation, and we have to keep our belongings from the healthy ones, okay, separately. Clear? We have to keep our belongings away from those who are healthy. Okay. Next, vaccination is to be given, right, at a suitable stage. So these are some preventive measures. Next, cholera and typhoid. Cholera is caused by bacteria. Typhoid is also caused by bacteria. Cholera is spread by or transmitted by food or water. Typhoid is also spread by water. And the measures are maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. We have to keep ourselves clean. Okay, safe and clean, personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Consume properly cooked food and boiled drinking water. We have to consume cooked food, proper cooked food and boiled water. Okay. Vaccination again is to be given. Hepatitis A, it is caused by a virus, it is transmitted by water. And what preventive step? Vaccination, then drink boiled water. Okay, boiled drinking water. Next, malaria is caused by protozoa and it is transmitted by mosquito. What we have to keep ourselves, how to keep ourselves safe from this disease? Use mosquito net and repellents. Okay, spray insecticides and control breeding of mosquitoes by not allowing water to collect in the surroundings. Okay, in our house or in our near our room also we should not collect water, otherwise the mosquito will start breeding there. Okay, so these are some of the common diseases affecting humans, their mode of transmission and the few general methods of prevention. Clear? So we'll stop here our video today. On the next day, we'll continue the chapter. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.